Hey there, everyone. This is Vince Verdict. It's been a while, huh, since I've been creating any videos. Well, I'm back for now because I have been cleaning the house, I'm working on it. Um, and this is the stash of old games I found in the closet upstairs, and so I was like, let's make a video. Let's unpack it all, and I'm gonna tell you all about the old games and the new games that I have. I will tell you all about the memories and the feelings I had playing those games and what life was like back then. Um, I will go through games like Lands of Lore, but also the newer games like Mass Effect 3. I suggest you sit back, relax, maybe grab yourself a beer like I did right there, and enjoy, alright? This is an easygoing video, so don't expect anything else. Alright guys, so I'm ready. As you can see, let's take a sip. Alright, so I'm going to be all over the place here. I have not put any order to the collection. It's just here, and I'm just gonna grab them one by one. I think some games I have something to say about. Some games I maybe haven't even played ever. So let's see. I'm sorry about the mess, but you know, who cares? So here we go, right? So the first one on top is Ring. Now, this game I was looking forward to so much when it was first revealed. It's from 1998. It had a lot of DVDs, as you can see. So these are 6 DVDs, or no, it's CDs, of course. And I think I've played this game for 10 minutes because I didn't get it. I did not get the game at all. It had some, I think it was all about the soundtrack or something, I don't know. Anyway, next. Dark Legion. Now this game, oh god, this game I loved. This was a good one. It was from an above view. I think it was turn-based. I'm not even sure if it was. I think it was turn-based. It's from 1994. That made me 9 years old when I got this game, or well, my dad got this game for me. I just remember I loved it. Sacrifice. I know that people love this game, but I never played it, guys. I never played it somehow. I don't know why. I never did. This game came out, I think it was during the time of like Incoming, which was this space game, and the other game, Giants. Was it called Giants? It has the same graphics, as you can see. It's similar to MDK, Murder Death Kill. Anyway, I never played it. An all-time favorite, of course, of many, Diablo 2. I hardly ever played it, guys. I was a Diablo 1 fan, and somehow I hardly ever played the second game. I don't know why. I think I never liked the graphics. I have it, I never played it. Oddworld. This game I loved. I remember that my dad had to get me to the store as quickly as possible when I heard that the game was released, because I've been reading a lot about it in the gaming magazines back in the day. Let me remind you that this was in 1997, as you can see. So the internet was there, of course, but people like me, my generation, we were reading magazines, PC Gamer, stuff like that. Anyway, I loved the game. It's a side scroller, but it was revolutionary, man. This game was crazy. You could take over the mind of these like octopus kind of weird. No, they had fingers for a mouth. Whatever. you could control them and save slaves with them. It was crazy. This game was so complex, so much fun. It had puzzles. There's a remake out, by the way. It's a definite recommend. The game is amazing. Love it, love it, love it. Good memories, good feelings. Here we go, Nox. Nox. Good game. I played it for, I think, a few days, maybe less. Don't know why. I know I liked it a lot. I think it was similar to Divinity. Divine Divinity, I mean, you know. It was a good game. It was a fun game. It was top down. And, well, this doesn't give you any clue, does it? Anyway, this is a great game. Next one. I remember this one. Future Cop. LAPD. Future Cop. I played this game so much with my cousin over the local area network. No. I think we were on the same PC back then. Yeah. And man, we freaking loved this game. We loved this game. So again, no pictures for you guys. So I was playing this robot, and my cousin was playing this other robot, and you could leap onto things, and I don't know. It was awesome. It reminds me of the time where every Sunday, we all went to my grandmother's, and with all of us, I mean my family, so my brother, my mother, my dad, my sister, and the other side of the family. So my uncle and my cousins. So we went to my grandma every Sunday to have snacks. And the moment we arrived at my grandmother, my cousin and I, we both just went back to my home and started up the computer, and we started playing Future Cop and other games like Fury of the Furries, until they called us and said, "Come on, the food is ready." So we walked back to grandma's. It was like a 5 minutes walk. So it was awesome. Good times, good memories. Shadows of Cairn. It was a side scroller. You were able to climb up to walls, climb onto walls. I'm sorry, guys, I'm Dutch. And assassinate. So basically, what this art here says. I think the game didn't scroll sideways, but up, or both. I don't know. Back in the day, that was very interesting. Good game. I never really played much of it though. I was young. I was all over the place. I think this game is from 1993, so I was 8 at the time, you know? So, and here comes my favorite, one of my favorite games. Quest for Glory. Quest for Glory, Dragonfire. This was the 5th part of Quest for Glory. I freaking love this game so much, guys. Just looking at the screenshots in the back. Oh my god. Nostalgia. This game was so RPG. I mean, like old school RPG, and they make 2 little games like these today. You could either be a magician, a rogue, or a warrior. That was it. And maybe a paladin after you finished the game or something. And that was it, guys. No mix, no start out as a rogue but eventually end up as a warrior mage. No. You were either a rogue, a mage, or a warrior. If you were a rogue, you could sneak into places, you could pick locks, you could climb walls if you had enough agility. If you were a mage, you could levitate onto balconies and enter buildings from the balcony, for example. Of course, you could also lob fireballs instead of knives if you were a mage instead of a rogue, and then the warrior was just the warrior, you know. Amazing game. It was an old Greece, I think, and you could teleport. No, you could travel to places on a map, and during your travels you could be intercepted and attacked, ambushed. For one of the first times games did that in 1998. That was. So all the games today where that happens, where you have different classes, where you have different approaches to problems, where you can get ambushed during travels on a map. You've got games like Quest for Glory, Dragonfire to thank for that, because it all started here. It was amazing. Now what's this little fucker? I don't know. Rent a Hero. I think I played that for... I don't know. I've got nothing to say. Maybe it was a good game. I don't know. I can't remember. So here we have the Alone in the Dark original soundtrack. Well, let's not judge the soundtrack because I can't remember what it sounds like. Let's judge the game. So this is a Alone in the Dark reboot, and it was a weird game. The graphics were good. I mean, those were beautiful graphics, but the game ran like shit on every rig. They had this new gameplay mechanic where you had to blink your eyes manually. If a monster approached and you closed your eyes, you saw the red marks that were the hit areas. You know, the areas where you had to hit the enemy. You had to close your eyes to see those. Didn't make sense. If a monster threw slime in your face, you had to blink to get your vision clear. I don't know. The guy didn't have hands. I don't know. Weird game, but it tried a lot. It tried a lot of new things, and that was pretty awesome, I think. So yeah, Alone in the Dark. Postal. We all remember Postal, right? This game was, I think it was the first game where you could go absolutely postal on your neighborhood. So innocent people, you could just lit them on fire, murder them, and it was pretty cool. This game, there was a lot of controversy around this game for obvious reasons, but the game was still well received. I remember that this game was good. Yeah, it was fun. I think I finished it in one evening, lobbing Molotov cocktails onto babies. No, I think that went too far. There were no babies in Postal. Why were there no babies? Why does that go too far? I don't know. I think you could even kill animals, so animals are innocent. So the fact that there weren't babies, innocence wasn't the reason. Okay, whatever. There it is. This is Oddworld, the sequel. And it's Abe's exodus, because Abe went all over his planet saving slaves, I think, instead of Oddworld 1, where he mainly sticked around the meat factory, I think. It was a good game, but it wasn't new anymore. Oddworld was new. Everything it tried was new, and Oddworld, the sequel, did the same thing. So it was alright, but that's it. And I think that's the problem most sequels have to suffer. The first one is a success because it does something different, and then the second one does the same thing. So, you know. Anyway, that's just me thinking out loud. Okay, what do we have here? Nomad Soul. Does anyone remember Nomad Soul? I hope you do, because this game was weird. I was too young to really get it, I think. This game is, I think it's from 1999. That was actually the year that Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring came out. You wouldn't say, but I didn't feel young when I remember Lord of the Rings, but I feel young when I remember me playing Nomad Soul. This game was it was an RPG, an adventure action RPG. I think I never got far. This game always fucked me up somehow. You could possess bodies because you were a nomad soul, so you didn't stay in one body. And I think I never got that. I think I never understood what bodies to pick and what to do with them, whatever. But I do remember that the game was amazing. I remember thinking this game is great and it does a lot of new stuff. But I didn't get it. I was too young, I think. I don't know. Or too dumb, maybe. Alright. Deus Ex. Yep. Everyone who played this game knows the intro music because it was awesome. Deus Ex. This game set the tone for future games like it. Who knows what the gaming industry would look like without Deus Ex, seriously. There wouldn't be any Deus Ex sequels or reboots, obviously, but I think Deus Ex showed us that first-person games don't all have to be Doom clones. Deus Ex showed us that you can put choices and role-playing game elements into first-person shooters. And, well, what do you know? It's my favorite genre. I can't wait for Cyberpunk, because there will be a game like it. And we have Deus Ex to thank for that, guys. Don't forget these guys here. They're pretty awesome. So yeah, Deus Ex is from 2000. Alright. So I was 15 years old when I got this game. Freaking loved it. Fighting Force. Remember it, but don't feel much for it. King's Quest 7. Never really played it. I loved King's Quest though. Like Quest for Glory. I think King's Quest is the lesser one. I loved Quest for Glory more. The Sims expansion pack. Don't know what that does here. I think this is my girlfriend's, or maybe my sister's. I should get that back to her. Heart of Darkness. It was a beautiful side-scrolling game. Loved it. Really good. This game had character. This game had style. It's from 1998. Okay, so this is the stack I have now. It's about to collapse. Oh my god, I've got a lot to go. I've got a lot to do still. We've got this stack. And we've got that one on the box. So I'm going to up the pace, okay? Because my beer is going faster than the stack. So yeah. Right now I'll just stick with the games that really made an impact for me. Okay? House of the Dead wasn't it. Nightmare Creatures. Pretty cool, pretty freaky, but also very consoleized. I think, I don't know, this game felt like a console game to me. The game, it's the game, DVD. Okay, World of Warcraft. A lot to say about it, but I've got a better presentation for that later on in this video. There we go. Heretic. Wow. When I got this game, I was so excited. This game was awesome. I remember you were able to run and then, do this kick where you push your stick into the ground, lift up and kick your feet forward, and enemies just flew away doing that. Awesome. I don't know. Those were the things, man. Games were simple back in the day. You didn't expect anything else. And when a game allowed you to do that, that was just awesome. Same with Tomb Raider, for example. The fact that you were able to dive into water instead of just jump. That was cool. Planet of the Apes. I knew that when I bought that game, I was like, why did I buy it? It sucked. Tribes 2. I played this game to death. Again, with my cousin. Freaking loved it. My god, this game had a learning curve, but if you were good at this game, you were good at it. Freaking awesome. Gift. Does anybody know this game? I doubt it. I think nobody knows this game. Nobody knows this game of the people who's watching, like the 5 people. This game came after a few months, I think, after Severance, Blade of Darkness. It had the same graphics, the same beautiful shadows. No, I'm gonna talk about Severance, not about Gift. I hardly even played this game. Okay. So there it is again. I don't know. Why do I have 2 Diablo 2s? No idea. Wizards and Warriors. I can't remember if I ever played this game. No idea. So let's skip it. Pools of Radiance. Never played it. It was like Neverwinter Nights, I think. Or Icewind Dale. I don't know. Oh, here's a legendary game, guys. Here's a legendary game. Outcast. You Inwa, I think they said, right? Or is that Morrowind? Inwa. Whatever. Anyway, this game was beautiful. It had this engine, pixel something. What was it? Ah, it doesn't say. Okay. Anyway, this was an awesome. It was made by a Belgian studio, and oh my god, I loved it. It's from 1999. It was open world, and it was one of the first games where, well, it was one of the first open world games, of course, but it was one of the first games where non-playing characters, they had good artificial intelligence. They fled when shit went sour, and then the enemy AI. My god, this game was revolutionary in it. Seriously, they knew how to flank you, I think, if I remember correctly. They called for backup. It was amazing. It was before Halo, right? I think Outcast was before Halo. So Halo got all the hype, got all the credits for awesome AI, but man, this game was first. Correct me if I'm wrong. There it is again. No idea. Okay, so we're done with this first ancient stack. Now we're gonna continue with the newer ones, but there are still some old gems in there. So stay with me. And again, I'm telling you, grab a beer, grab a whiskey, just check it out, okay? If you're younger than I am, like next generation younger, or you're my age, or a bit older, I'm 34 now. You'll probably remember some games, or if you're younger than me, let me inspire you, okay? Let me tell you about some of the older games, and just hear my excitement about. I mean, games in the past were different than they are now. I mean, there are many more being produced now. I mean, there are many more being developed now. I mean, there's like 4 or 3 kind of good games every month, right? Oh my god, not back in the day. Back in the day, you were looking forward to this one game, and you read about it in gaming magazines, and you were looking forward to the next month edition of the magazine, where the journalist went to check the preview of the game, and so you could read more about it. Looking forward to that game. Oh my god, man, that was the life back then. Anyway, hear my excitement. Talk with me about it. Leave comments, and maybe I can do a more polished, better version of this later if people like the video. Let's continue, okay? All right. Oblivion, The Elder Scrolls 4. People, people loved Oblivion and people hated it. I can't remember why they hated it. Oh yeah, of course, Horse Armor. I wanted to say something good about this game, but then I remember, wait a minute, this is Bethesda, and Bethesda brought us DLC. I think Bethesda was the first, it feels like Bethesda was the first developer that came with paid DLC, and not the good kind, right? But the stuff where they left content out of the game, so you had to buy it to get it. It wasn't created after the release, it was already there, they just left it out for you to buy it. Horse Armor. Horse Armor was that first DLC that marked the shit storm that we're still in today, with left out content that you have to buy, okay? Let me tell you guys something about downloadable content. And there wasn't a thing like downloadable content. Back in my youth, there were expansion packs. An expansion pack that was like a standalone game with the same game mechanics. Sometimes something was added to it, but with a whole new story and hours of extra content. It was a standalone game. That was an expansion. Pretty much like what CD Projekt is creating these days. You have The Witcher 3, and then you have the Blood and Wine DLC, for example. I don't even want to call it a DLC, it's an expansion. That's all we knew back then. And then Oblivion came with Horse Armor, and after that, publishers like Activision took wind of it, and they were like, hey, so we can sell weapons or quests or what the fuck ever for $20? Okay, man. Okay. Max Payne 3. What do I think of Max Payne 3? Well, I think I finished the game for like 3 or 4 times. Which implies that I loved it. It just wasn't Max Payne. Max Payne was all dark alleys and a noir hero, you know, a film noir hero. What is film noir? Film noir isn't dark alleys. It isn't a rainy New York City. It's a hero, but doesn't want to be a hero. So Max Payne 3 has that right. Okay, Max Payne still doesn't want to be a hero. It just happens to him, right? He doesn't look for it. He doesn't want to be a hero. Shit just hits the fan and he has to clean it up, right? That's the only thing Max Payne 3 has similar to Max Payne 1 and 2. And the gameplay, of course. The gameplay is awesome. This is why I like the game. This is why I love the game. But the whole Max Payne vibe, you don't got that in this game, man. This game is it's too much sunshine. And no, I'm not contradicting myself. I just said that film noir isn't dark alleys and rainy New York cities. No, I know, but that's what I loved about Max Payne 1 and 2. Okay, apart from Max Payne, I loved the setting. It was part of Max Payne. And then there was also some differences with how Max was acting, and I think that's because of Rockstar. I think every game Rockstar produces is basically the same in the way its story is being told and the tone that it has. It's always vulgar. There's always a lot of cussing. There's always a lot of needless violence. Just compare Max Payne from the first game and the second game to Max Payne in the third game. In the first and the second game, Max never resorts to needless cussing. And I don't care about fucking cussing, okay? I care about consistency in a character. Okay, Max Payne was poetic. There's a difference between Max Payne Max Payne 1 and 2. I mean Max Payne 3 and the one from the first and the second. Okay? Gameplay freaking awesome! It's the best. It's better than the first and the second, and this is why I'm probably going to finish Max Payne 3 again this summer. What do we have here? Neverwinter Nights, Hordes of the Underdark. Expansion packs were the thing back then, and I hope that developers and publishers will go back to the expansion pack system, because I think it works well, and I think it will still work well, if you ask me. Freedom Force. Fun game. Skyrim. We all know Skyrim, don't we? Okay, Bethesda, you created an awesome game there. Or, wait a second, did you? Or do we have to thank the mod community for that? I'm honestly not sure. I think the vanilla version is awesome, but it's never really completed, is it? When you release a game. Bethesda. An Elder Scrolls game, that is. There's always a mod necessary to make it better. Like a user interface mod. Because they didn't care. They didn't care about the PC gamer. The user interface was horrendous. It was made for a controller. It was terrible. But thank God for the mod community. Beyond Good and Evil. Good game. Very good game. I think I was too young to really appreciate it. I knew I had fun with it. It's from 2003. Okay, that made me 18 years old. Okay, well, I liked it, but people are so fucking excited about the sequel. I mean, the game was good, but I think I played it for a week and that's it. Neverwinter Nights 2. Now, that game was good in my opinion. Great game. Amazing expansion pack. What was it called? Mask of the Betrayer. Freaking awesome. I loved this game so much. It had silly graphics. The engine wasn't all that, but the story was awesome, and it played in the Forgotten Realms, of course, which is the best place. I love Faerun. I mean, that's the if I want to teleport to a fantasy world, I would choose the one with Harry Potter in it. Just fucking kidding. I would choose Faerun, not Middle Earth. Faerun, absolutely. Oh yeah. Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb. This game was good. I was so surprised at how awesome this game was. The combat was next level. The way you could whip out your whip and I think disarm people with it. There were a lot of objects lying around that you could pick up and fight with. This was the precursor to the combat style that you experience now in, for example, the Batman Arkham games. Fluid, responsive, and good fun. Here it is, guys. Mass Effect 3. This was a nice edition. I loved it. The collector's edition, I mean. It was really aesthetic. Look, it looks beautiful. Really, really nice. I always was the male shepherd, but I didn't look like that. I had an older face. Anyway, I was so excited when Mass Effect 3 came out. So excited, man. This was my all-time favorite franchise. Until the end of Mass Effect 3. No, not the end. I knew something was off, and I think many of you feel the same way who played this and played the prequels. I knew something was off when early in Mass Effect 3, Liara tells you about the catalyst that people found on Mars. Or was it the moon? No, I think it was Mars. Why did they introduce a Deus Ex Machina? To me, that felt like the writers didn't know what they were doing, that there was something off, and that they, for some reason, didn't stick to the original plan of the story that was intended to be the story. Turned out that my suspicion was correct, because there was something about a leaked version and they changed the story last minute and we got garbage. The game itself is good, the ending and the way the story is told and the way the story develops sucks. Which makes Mass Effect 3 a pain in the heart. Mass Effect 2, great game. People love this one so much. I like it as well. I think I like the first the most. What I didn't like about Mass Effect 2 was the story, I think. Well, the big picture was awesome, but I didn't like how it was pretty linear to me. I don't like it when a game tells me what the story will look like. And that's basically what this game did from the get-go. The game tells you you have to enlist person A, then person B, C, D, E, and F. And once you've collected them all, we're going to the end game. I don't like it. I don't like it when a story is told like that. But it was told like that, and I never liked the experience. No, I never liked the story. I loved the experience. It was a great game, good gameplay, good character interaction, of course. But the entire time while playing, I was like, okay, I've got companion A and B. Now I only need C, D, E, and F, and I'm done. And I don't want to be done. So, I don't know. It felt off to me. It's not the way I would tell a story. Look at this. Sacred. Great game. Diablo clone. Sort of. Many people will hate me who loved Sacred when they hear me say this. I don't remember the details of the game. I remember it had multiple classes and a very good gameplay. Next. BioShock. Ha! This game was amazing. I loved this game so much. My parents bought me this version after I came back from Aruba, where I was for an internship for 5 months. I missed gaming, so I came back home. They bought BioShock for me, and I experienced one of the best games I've ever played. Rapture. Would you kindly grab the next game? Of course I will. Giant Citizens Kabuto. I mentioned this earlier in this video. This game was very interesting. Oh man, I don't remember the details. You were able to be a giant? And some other... You were able to eat... I don't know. The aesthetics were beautiful. It was a good engine. Good graphics for back in the day. And I had a lot of fun with it. Morrowind. Wasn't this a good game? One thing that was off about this game, I don't know, I think steal an apple and the entire village was going to lynch you. A little bit extreme, but I think the Dark Elves were, I don't know, they didn't like Outlanders. Fucking racists. Tribunal. This was the time where Bethesda was still into expansion packs, and that was the last time, I think. What am I saying? Skyrim has expansion packs as well. So they still, they are still doing they still did expansion packs after Horse Armor, but they also introduced DLC. So fuck them. Neverwinter Nights, the collector's edition, the gold edition, I think. Yeah, it had the Shadows of the Undertide, and it had Neverwinter Nights itself. So Hordes of the Underdark came later. I think a cat threw up on it or something. Okay. What else do we have? Star Wars: The Old Republic. A multiplayer game. I didn't like it. I played it for a week or maybe a month, and then I was done with it. I don't know. It just wasn't as good as World of Warcraft. It tried to be, but it failed. BioShock 2, great game. Not as good as BioShock 1. That's because it wasn't new anymore. It didn't try too many new things. Maybe that was good. Maybe that's why people love BioShock 2. I loved BioShock 2, but it's forgettable compared to BioShock 1. Oh, this is the actual, yeah. Okay. Okay, what do we have here? Make some space. Dark Messiah of Might and Magic. This game, they need to make a remake of this game. You were able to pick different classes, like a mage, warrior, rogue, I think, thief, whatever. And the way it played was completely different compared to each of the classes you picked. It was a linear game, linear story. It had maps, it wasn't open world, but it was visceral. It was visceral and oh my god, it was awesome. This was one of the first games, maybe the first game, I don't know, where you were able to do so many things in first-person combat. When there was a little goblin on the edge of a cliff, you could kick it and it flew off. And it was just, the physics were right, the sound was right, it all felt right. And people who never played this game and are used to modern games are like, what the hell are you talking about? What makes that so awesome? Well, it was one of the first games, or maybe the first game that did that. It was visceral. You were able to decapitate people, you know, orcs, mostly I think, and you were able to parry and riposte, and it was all. This was the first game that did that. This was the first game that made first-person melee combat look good, play good, and I think the mage was also very interesting to play. I mean, just to set goblins on fire and see them scream. You should give this game a try if you have the time. Give it a try. It's old now, the graphics are dated, but I think you'll appreciate it. And next up, we have Heroes of Might and Magic 5. I like the game a lot. I think the art of the box again it's beautiful. I didn't mention that with the earlier boxes, except Mass Effect 3, but there's some beautiful art design. Yeah, we can't enjoy that anymore with Digital Age. It's all on Steam now. Steam is the owner of the games you own. Anyway, I love the game. The graphics, I think the graphics were dated even when this game came out. Don't know when that was. Anyway. Batman Arkham Asylum. Well, isn't this game amazing, guys? This is I think this is the first game after many years of crappy third-person melee combat that got it right. And thank you for that, Batman Arkham series, because I love it. Sure, you're just smashing buttons and retaliating at the right moment, but I don't care. I like it. This is what I talked about. The I think it was the second expansion for Morrowind. The first one was Tribunal, and here's Blood Moon. They introduced the werewolf with this expansion. Here's an old one, Starlancer. It's from the makers of Wing Commander and Privateer. I played this a long time ago. I don't remember much of it, to be honest. It's a 2000 game, who wouldn't say? Is that right? No, I think it's older. Oh, whatever. Return to Castle Wolfenstein. Yes, this was a good one. The graphics were dated. Again, I didn't like the graphics, even of this game. But the game was alright. It didn't do anything new. I wasn't a big fan of Return to Castle Wolfenstein. What I was a big fan of, though, was the multiplayer. It was enemy territory. Maybe some of you know. This was the best fun I had during my youth in multiplayer games. You were able to be a medic or a lieutenant or a soldier or a sniper back then. The medic, when some teammate was downed, you were able to resurrect him by sticking him with a syringe, and it made for some heroic action. Loved it. This was the talk. Well, the multiplayer part was the talk of the town in high school back then. My God, I had a clan. Good times. This is the stuff of nostalgia for me. Trying to search. Oh, it's 2001. Yeah, makes sense. All right. Next up is Grand Theft Auto 3. It was a good game. It was the first Grand Theft Auto that went third person, and it did it well. Gothic 2. Man, this game was good. Am I happy to have this, to hold this in my hands again. Gothic 1, the first one, it was so good, guys. I have it. It's somewhere there. It was so good. It's a role-playing game, open world, and you start as a nobody in the first game, as an absolute nobody. In fact, you're a prisoner, and you're getting beat up by bullies. You're getting beat up by big chickens, and I mean, this game, I mean the first one, the second as well, but the first one too. This game, it grabbed you in the first hours of the game, and it whispered in your ear, saying, "You are nothing. Nothing." Oh, and you felt nothing. You felt weak, a little bit agitated, because it was annoying, of course, to aggro a chicken, a big, like, turkey. But what made that so good was that once you got the gear, you were able to beat the bully. And once you got the better gear, you were able to beat the turkey. And so on until you were able to beat dragons. Oh my God. It really warms my chest thinking about Gothic. This Gothic 2 was amazing as well. Oh my God, I wish I was back there. Back in that age. The worryless age, no work. Just going back from school, up to the attic, up to your room, and just playing games. Medal of Honor. The masses love it. I liked it. The first game, Allied Assault, was very good. The Normandy, the D-Day, the Decision Day mission was amazing. How you were charging toward the bunkers on the coast. It was good, yeah. But we've seen it all now, right? I mean, that doesn't excite us anymore. No fucking way. It keeps coming back. This is the third copy I have, and I don't even like Diablo 2 somehow. Oh, yeah. The Thing. It was a bad game, I think. I didn't like it. But I think it was a precursor to Dead Space. I think Dead Space was inspired by the movie, The Thing. At least. Far Cry 3. The game was good. Beautiful visuals. But it introduced a new type of game. And I think Ubisoft has a hard time letting go of it. It's open world, yeah, but it's all it's shallow. It's beautiful, but there's nothing to do there. It's just a giant open space between point A and point B with sometimes some battle going on. And sure, there were stuff like collectibles and hunting to craft better weapons, but I don't know. If open world is just there to be to spread the story thin and to spread the experience thin, then don't do open world. I think. You know, it's strange because I don't know how I feel about it. I've just finished playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and it's one of my favorite games. So, what the hell am I saying, right? Still, I would love some more detail, some more depth, instead of just grandeur, you know? Okay. Darksiders. I like the game, but it's empty. Do you guys realize, if you've played this, how empty the world is? It's just like Far Cry 3, but worse. It's just a flat, gray, dull world with nothing interesting, and with enemies. And you kill the enemies, but the world is just there to hold the enemies for you to kill. Uninteresting. Didn't like the puzzles either, but I'm not a puzzle kind of guy. I don't like puzzles that are completely out of context. Like, here's a dark room and here's a giant illuminating lever. Pull it and let's see what happens. Oh, a huge purple ball falls from the sky. Now catch it with this red net. And what the fuck? Come on. Anachronox. This game, oh my god, it grew on me. I didn't like it at first, and then I loved it. This game, some of you old folk, in your 30s, I think you guys know what I mean when I say that the time that this game was created, you know, the era of these types of games, which is as well like Nomad Soul. This was an interesting time. Technology was moving forward. Developers didn't really know what to do with it. The graphics were kind of off, a little bit silly even. But man, developers were experimenting, and there were interesting games out there. Anachronox was one of them, and it had humor. It was funny as hell. A friend of mine and myself, oh my god, we laughed our asses off. Because of the dialogue on the ship. Okay, good game. A role-playing game adventure. Titan Quest. Now, this is another example of a good game with a good expansion. Immortal Throne. Fucking loved it. You went to the underworld in the expansion. This was the first Diablo clone, first ARPG with proper physics, with a proper physics engine. You hit an enemy hard enough and it flew off a cliff, if there was a cliff, or against the wall, or whatever. And it made the combat feel impactful, visceral, and it's because of that that I love Titan Quest. It's a very good RPG. I wonder if it aged well. Oh well. I don't have time to check anyway. Gothic 3, here it is. They tried something new. They were overambitious with Gothic 3. It wasn't a bad game. It had to grow on you, but you had to give it a lot of charity before uninstalling it, you know? I mean, I gave this game so many chances before I allowed it to grow on me, because of the reputation of the first two. It looked good for the age, for the era that it was released. Really good, actually. In my mind's eye, the game still looks good today. You know what I mean? It probably doesn't, but it says something about the graphics for the time. Okay, what do we have here? Risen, a game like Gothic, not as good, but if you need that Gothic itch scratched, You'd love this game. Oh, this is a good one. No One Lives Forever 2. Better than the first, actually, I think, in my opinion. This is a sequel that's better than the prequel. It's like the prequel experimented a bit with the game they wanted to make, and then they made the game with No One Lives Forever 2. Great first-person shooter. A little bit like, well, it had some role-playing game elements. It wasn't all just pew-pew. There was a lot of stealth involved as well. Divinity, Divine Divinity. I keep confusing it with Divinity Original Sin, which is from the same makers and the same world. Great game. It's top-down. It's... With what game can you compare it with? I think it's a mix. It's a mix between Diablo and Icewind Dale, with a single character, not a team. So yeah. Incoming Forces. I remember that this game was. I think this was one of the first games that was made with 3DFX. Yeah, DirectX 8 TNT. Yeah, the TNT video cards. You guys remember that? Jesus Christ, good old times. Alien vs Predator. Oh my god, that game was good. Wait, is this a reboot? Oh yeah, this is the reboot. This is a good one, guys. It never finished it with the Marine or the Predator. I only finished it with the Alien, I think. I don't know. But the graphics were great. The gameplay was good. It was better than the original, because I think the original wasn't good enough. It tried to be, but it was a bit messy. That was a good one. Alright. Crysis 2. I had this discussion online, on an online community, and I was confusing Crysis 2 with Crysis 3, and even with Crysis... No, not with Crysis, the original one. That one is pretty... That's primarily jungle and beaches. Crysis 2 and Crysis 3, if you tell me which is which, I will get confused. All I know is that one of them was short and kind of left you undone, and the other one was great. I thought the third was great, but maybe it was the second. Whatever. Anywho, it's good, and the graphics are amazing. Never played it. Oh, well, I did for a short while, flying around. Graphics look good. Here's the... well, we mentioned this. We talked about this one. Okay, let's up the pace a bit, guys. Spider-Man was a great game. Great game. I loved swinging through the city. Was a good one. I hate the fact that the new Spider-Man isn't for PC. I fucking hate it. Oh, look at this. Yeah. Max Payne. Everything ripped apart in a New York minute. I'm gonna install it again. I swear I'm gonna install it again. Just that line, guys. That's what I talked about. Everything ripped apart in a New York minute. I don't know why, it just resonates. That's Max Payne. And I fucking love this. Such a good game. But what I even love more is the sequel. I think, and I know many people don't agree with me, Max Payne 2 is the best of the three. I love Max Payne 2. It had so much soul. It had so much character. Mona was amazing. Max was broken and he was almost healed and then he wasn't. Oh man. I love Max Payne 2. Maybe it's one of my favorite games of all times. Max Payne 2. And another sequel, guys, that's better than the original is Far Cry 2. I think this game is great, and I'm very happy that I have the collector's edition. Far Cry 2, it plays in Africa, and it has so much soul and so much character. And somehow the progression felt better, the character progression, than Far Cry 3. Far Cry 3 has a lot of skills that you can unlock, but Far Cry 2 had these blood diamonds that you could find, and with it you could buy weapons at a shop. But what made that cool was if you didn't have the weapon bought, then you had to do with the like ramshackle broken weapon version, which meant that in the middle of a battle it could just break. Bam! You would be without a weapon. So imagine you find your favorite gun, right? But it's a rusty, old, crappy gun. But you love the way it shoots, but it breaks all the time. And you see in the shop that if you want that weapon, like good as new, and it won't be able to break, then you have to find like 4 or 5 or 6 blood diamonds. Trust me, you would search for those blood diamonds. And it's just that one huge motivation. Apart from the following the main story and doing all the little things like taking the forts and killing the people in the camps, that just makes the whole experience a great joy. Great joy. It's better than Far Cry 3 in many ways. It had many realistic mechanics that Far Cry 3 ditched. For example, do not shoot a bazooka when you're in a huge field of dry grass, because the field will lit on fire, and before you know it, you'll be standing in the middle of an inferno. That's Far Cry 2 for you. Here comes maybe my favorite game of all time. You will not expect it, you will probably not even know it, and it's dusty, and I'm gonna clean it. Severance: Blade of Darkness. This game had the best melee combat ever. And you know what? The melee combat, the melee gameplay, it would still be very fun, very good today. The game had such a great mechanic. You had to parry, you had to block, you had to dodge. And it's pretty much like Dark Souls. This is the old Dark Souls game. It was difficult, it was hard. One mistake could have meant that your head would have been lopped off. It was an amazing game, and I'm trying to see how old it is. It's from 2001, guys. Alright, it's 19 years old, and it would still be a joy to play it, I'm certain. The graphics for the time were also just fantastic. The shadows, the way the shadows were cast was just revolutionary as well. For example, around the corner there's a campfire, and you see this giant shadow being cast on the wall that you can spot, right? But you don't know what's around the corner, but it's probably a huge freaking monster. You go around the corner, and the giant shadow cast is the shadow of a tiny goblin. You know, it was realistic. You can't imagine anything else today. But back then, this game was the first game. It was from Rebel Act. It was a Spanish developer. It didn't survive their first game. Sadly, it didn't sell well somehow. But Rebel Act was the first developer that got those graphics right. The first developer, and they deserve a medal for it. The lighting effects, the shadows. These guys were the first. Mark my words, these guys were the first. Because there was this other game that was released at the same time, and it was called Rune. You guys probably know it. Was it from Activision or BioWare? I don't know. No, not BioWare, of course. Ubisoft. I don't know, but Rune was released at the same time as Severance, and I couldn't look at the graphics and I couldn't play that game anymore after I've played this game. This game made the leap into the future, and it left Rune behind. But hardly anyone knows Severance Blade of Darkness. Fucking terrible. What an amazing game. Diablo 3. Okay, I've been playing Diablo 3 again now, today, in 2020. Didn't like it at first. I thought it was, I don't know. I didn't like the choices they made. I didn't like the limited skills you were able to use. I felt like they were holding your hand too much with regards to character build. But my god, look at the art. Oh my god, I forgot I got this. It's beautiful, right? Okay, but I'm playing it again, and I've been playing it on and off since it was released. So that's proof enough that it's actually a good game. Warhammer Online: Age of Reckoning. The game had soul, the game had character. They tried to do some good things, but as with almost every Warhammer game, it just misses that oomph, that X factor, that production value, you know, that tells you, okay, this game is just awesome. It's hard to explain. I played it for a week or two, and then I was done with it, and I went back to World of Warcraft. Speaking of World of Warcraft, there's Cataclysm. And Rainbow Six, hardly ever played it. I didn't have the patience. The Witcher, the original Witcher game. I actually love the combat. I like the game a lot. I didn't like Vizima. I didn't like the fact that that Geralt of Rivia became a crime investigator or something. Fucking hell. I would never replay this game. You know why? Because of the first Vizima chapter. Terrible. What is it with me and Blizzard and Diablo games? Blood Omen 2. I know why I got this. The game actually wasn't that good. It was really... it was simple. I don't know, it wasn't that good, but I loved the original Blood Omen. It was top down. It was really old. But it was the first game where you were a vampire and where you could suck the blood out of people. And in Blood Omen, the first, that is. Don't confuse it with Omen. This is different. Prince of Persia, The Two Thrones. Great game. Yep. Good fun. Warrior Within. Good game, good combat, good third-person combat. And I love the rewinding stuff that you had to do. Tom and Jerry... No, what? Huh? I've never even touched this. Didn't even know I had it. Battle Chess. I bought this many years ago, but even back then it was old when I bought it because of the nostalgia interplay. I played this game when I just got a PC, I think. And it was good. I mean, it was chess, but with animations, so you actually saw them killing each other and stuff. Cult, never played it. Alone in the Dark, another reboot, The New Nightmare. It was a interesting game, pretty much like Nocturnal. Nobody knows, none of you know about Nocturnal, probably, but it played the same way. not scary. Though. Okay, this is not mine. The Hitman Collection. Everyone with taste knows that Blood Money was the best. The best of all. I think I have it somewhere here. Oh yeah, in fact. Oh no, wait. That's Absolution. That one wasn't that good. It had a good... It focused a lot on story, which I like, because I think the newer Hitman games lack good storytelling. But the Hitman feel wasn't there. Now am I happy that I have this game as a collector's edition. Dragon Age Origins. There are not enough games like this. BioWare, go back to this type of game. You screwed up with Dragon Age 2, and Dragon Age 3 was, I guess it was good, but it had a lot of filler bullshit. This game was so good. So good. So fucking good, guys. If you haven't played Dragon Age Origins and you like role-playing games, then I don't know what to say. The Witcher 2, Assassin of Kings. Well, amazing game. Still looks very good today. And here's the box of that game that I started with. Whatever, okay. Now, onto the box. There it is. Blood Money. The absolute best version of Hitman. Great game. Great game. Icewind Dale. I love the world, as I mentioned before, but I never really got into it. I was too young when it came out, when it was a thing, and I never really got it. I always died, and I didn't have the patience for it. Maybe today I will have, but not then. Fighting Force, whatever. Rage. Terrible graphics. Terrible fucking graphics. I played it though, and I enjoyed it, but I think everything felt dated. Even the gameplay, I don't understand the hype. Luckily, it got a lot of flames as well. I don't know, Bethesda, you keep coming back, and I don't know, man. I love you and I hate you. Deus Ex Human Revolution. I love it. Good game. Great game. Yes. And I can't wait for Cyberpunk. I know it's a different developer, different publisher, but it's the same type of game. Arx Fatalis. Arx Fatalis, guys. This game is again in my top favorites list of games. It plays in the underground, and you have to cook your own food and sneak, and there were orcs and goblins, and there was melee combat, and there was magic. And the magic system was so great because you had to paint the magic signs in the air with your mouse, basically, you know? So he stuck his index finger into the air, and you had to paint it with your mouse. It was amazing. And so you had like this, like Yog movies, and that gave you the speed boost, for example. It was awesome. It was so fun. And the game, again, it had these things that were back in the day revolutionary, like you kill a chicken, put the dead chicken on a campfire, and after like 2 or 4 or 5 seconds, it was a roasted chicken. And you put a roasted chicken in your inventory. And when you were hungry, you ate the roasted chicken. Those little things back then, that was just the little things that made the game, you know? Grand Theft Auto 4, good game, but I remember that the optimization for the PC was terrible. I don't know if they ever optimized it. I think they did. Mafia, first game of the 3. Great game. I enjoyed it a lot. The storytelling was amazing. You start out as this little Tom Sawyer kind of guy, and you turn into this mob dude. It's just a great mob story. It's amazing. It's too dated now. I don't think I can enjoy it. If you want to enjoy a Mafia game, play Mafia 2. I think that game has aged pretty well. I didn't like Mafia 3. It started out very well, very good, the first mission, and then they were like, screw it, we're done, and the rest of the game is just a shallow mess. Neverwinter Nights 2, Storm of Zahir. I hated this expansion. It did something else. It wasn't what I expected of Neverwinter Nights 2. No more voice acting, etc. It sucked. I didn't like it. Blood Rain, good combat, and I obviously bought it for the thanks. No One Lives Forever, the first. Clive Barker's Undying. Asperas, feras, asperas, feras. Oh, amazing soundtrack. Amazing game. First person, horror, and horror type of game with a little bit of action involved. Had this very interesting mechanic with this magical green stone that you had, and with it you could sense paranormal stuff. Scary game, amazing atmosphere. I wonder how that game aged. They should remake it. Enemy Territory Quake Wars. Don't know why it's called Enemy Territory. Should be removed. Just call it Quake Wars. This game is not worth the title. Mistmare, never played it. Fahrenheit, great game. If you like Detroit Become Human, Beyond Two Souls, you like Fahrenheit. It's a bit dated though. Never played it. Here we go, the original Mass Effect, the best of the three in my opinion. And yeah, I know, I haven't mentioned Andromeda. Zoo Tycoon, never played it. I think I bought it for my girlfriend. Guild Wars, never understood the hype. I fucking hate that game. Arkham City, great game. Yeah, we're getting, the games are becoming more and more modern, right? Oh, here we are. Neverwinter Nights 2, Mask of the Betrayer, great game. This is the example for a great expansion. This game, the expansion is actually better than the original game, and just as long. I mean, that's great. Premium edition, yeah, I liked it. Collector's edition of Heroes 5, Sacred 2, better than Sacred 1. Outbreak, codename Outbreak. I played that a lot with my cousin, again, on local area network. Pretty much like that other war game. What's it called? Oh, whatever. Wrath of the Lich King. DC Universe Online. I actually liked this game. Had flair. It had something, but I don't know. It died, didn't it? Darkspore. Here it is. Here is Rune, guys. This game came out at the same time as Severance, but if you played Severance before Rune, you would be spoiled, and you would realize that this game was fucking garbage. Fable. I love the fact that they made a PC edition, because it's a great game. Borderlands 2, I don't know, I keep getting dragged into the hype. I even have Borderlands 3, but I never really liked the games, actually. Burning Crusade. Thief, Deadly Shadows. I am one of the relatively few people, I think, that really likes this game. There was a freedom to this game that that wasn't explored enough in the reviews, and this was one of the first games, you must realize, where you could actually grab onto a ledge and jump onto it. If you saw a ledge somewhere, if you saw anything that you could grab onto and climb onto, not like Assassin's Creed of course, but more static than that, Deadly Shadows allowed you to do that in third person, or first person as well, I can't remember. And that made it, to me, a good game. It was really off, it was exactly as off as Deus Ex 2. Exactly as weird, you know, that Deus Ex 2 was off as well. It had something off about it. The graphics were off, the story was off, the gameplay was off, and that same offness you'd find in this game. But it's still a good game. Pirates of the Caribbean, it had flair, it had some good piratey vibe, but I didn't really like it. Dungeon Siege. What happened there? Maybe that happened. I don't know. Oh, come on, guys. This game was amazing. This was the first game, by the way, without loading screens. So from the beginning of the game to the end of the game, there were no loading screens. It's a Diablo kind of game, a Diablo, an ARPG with no loading screens. It was great. First game, by the way, that did that. So you gotta give them credit for it. You gotta give Chris Taylor credit for that. Trine too. Never really played it. I'm not a platforming kind of gamer. Don't like side scrollers either. I liked them in the past, but okay. Look at this. Die by the Sword. Now that's a relic. It's by Interplay. That's a relic. You know, this game was the first and the last, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. That gave the player complete control over the sword arm with the mouse. It worked like shit. It worked like absolute shit. It didn't work. I didn't even like the game, but it was the first game that let you control the sword arm with your mouse, so you could swing and stab it, and of course it looked like shit. But it was the first game that did that, and that was cool, and it was the first game that was as freaking gory. It was so gory, man. You could chop off heads, and there was blood everywhere. And I don't know, that just deserves, this game deserves a medal. Half-Life is still in there. And what do we have here? We have Lands of Lore. Lands of Lore. What an amazing game. This game, there was this time, some of you old folks remember and know what I'm talking about. This is from 1994. And there were many games like this. There was a lot of CGI involved. Like, you know, here, this dragon you see flying, that was CGI, that wasn't gameplay. That was all CGI. But that was amazing at the time. And, you know, you were just walking around, you had to choose to go forward or to go to the left or to the right. You know, it wasn't a fluid transition like you're used to now in first-person games. So everything was static. But they somehow managed to... There was so much atmosphere there. There was so much soul in these games. Or maybe that's just nostalgia talking, of course. I would never know. Shadow Man. Tried to sell it for $15 back in the day. Hardly played it, didn't like it. There's the box of Pool of Radiance. Ghost Recon. Everybody loves it, I never did. Thief 2, the absolute best of the Thieves series. I hope we can all agree. The Metal Age. Garrett, I miss you, man. I miss you. Another collector's edition I'm happy to have from Hero 6. Beautiful, beautiful collector's edition. I never look at it. But just having it is, you know. All right. We're nearly at the end, guys. Another beautiful collector's edition from a game I ended up not liking. It's Age of Conan. They made there was a huge update the other day of Age of Conan, so it's still going. But look at this collector's edition, guys. It was a massive multiplayer game. It had a beautiful art book. Beautiful collector's edition. All right, and the last, but definitely not the least, the original World of Warcraft collector's edition. Amazing. This is so amazing. This is so cool that I have this. So cool. It's all in there still too. I never touched it, I just wanted it, you know? That's the thing, right? With collector's edition, does anyone really look at it? Does anyone really put on the helmet of the Doom guy? I mean, really? I mean, if you do, cool. But you just want... we just want, right? We all just want. Yeah, guys, thank you for watching. This is it, I think. This is my childhood memory you're looking at. This was my life, guys. Fucking hell. Such a... I want to say such a loser, but fuck that. I mean, my brother, you know, he was going out and he was going, you know, all the way with the ladies, and I was playing computer games with my friends. With my friends in Sweden and my friends in the US and the UK and Germany. I had friends everywhere, man. We were playing games. Multiplayer games then. I think that was the part that I'm reminiscing about now. I think it's the World of Warcraft time, you know. Yeah. And the other the time before that, that was the time where other kids were maybe playing outside. I played outside as well. But playing games always put me in this bubble, you know, this safe bubble. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I know the people that watch my channel are just a few, and I don't care. If only three people watch this, I hope you enjoyed it. If 10 people watched it, I hope you all enjoyed it. Leave a comment. I'm not doing this for subs. I'm not doing this for anything, of course. This was me archiving the stuff I have. My God, man. I bet some of you have a way bigger collection. And you know what? I had a bigger collection, but some got lost. I had a lot of boxes, I had a lot of these type of boxes. I don't know where they went. But anyway, thanks for watching. See y'all later. This was Vince Verdict. Goodbye.